Can Washington and Beijing steer their ships of state through today's treacherous shoals? Yes, it is possible, but only if they know how to apply the lessons of history. One such example of those important lessons from history is Thucydides Trap. Now, let us understand what is Thucydides Trap. In the world of international relations, few concepts are as discussed or as feared as the Thucydides Trap. It is a phrase that has shaped recent foreign policy discussions, particularly concerning the world's two biggest powers, the United States and China. But what exactly is the Thucydides Trap, and are we truly destined for war? This term was coined by Harvard political scientist Graham Allison in 2015. He was inspired by an observation from the ancient Greek historian Thucydides, who, some 2,500 years ago, chronicled the devastating Peloponnesian War between Athens and Sparta. Thucydides famously wrote, "It was the rise of Athens and the fear this instilled in Sparta that made war inevitable." In short, the trap describes the severe structural stress and inherent risk of conflict that occurs when a rapidly rising power, called as revisionist power, threatens to displace an established ruling power, that is, status-quoist power. Graham Allison and his team at Harvard's Belfer Centre for Science and International Affairs studied 16 historical cases where this dynamic occurred over the past 500 years. The results were sobering, and 12 of these 16 rivalries ended in war. These cases span centuries, like the conflict between Britain and rising Germany before World War I, the naval competition between England and Dutch Republic, and many others. Today, the Thucydides Trap is almost exclusively used as a lens to understand the relationship between the United States, the established power, the status-quoist power, and China, the rising power, the revisionist power. As China's economic and military might grows, it challenges America's long-held global dominance. This creates a dangerous cocktail of ambition in Beijing and fear in Washington. But is war truly inevitable? The answer from scholars like Allison is a cautious no. The whole point of identifying the trap is to avoid the trap. History offers 4 cases where conflict was averted through careful diplomacy and statecraft, including the peaceful transition between Great Britain and United States around the turn of 20th century. These successful cases underscore that human choices and diplomatic efforts can overcome structural pressures. Critics of the theory argue that applying an ancient analogy to the modern world oversimplifies complex issues. Today's deep economic interdependence and the existence of nuclear weapons change the calculus entirely, making large-scale conflict potentially mutually destructive. However, the Thucydides Trap remains a powerful reminder that when fear and pride cloud judgment and the possibility of war is discounted, leaders risk stumbling into a conflict that no one wants. So, avoiding the trap requires consistent, high-level attention and radical changes in attitudes on both sides. It demands we learn from history and not repeat it.